What if I told you that there was a game that took what's best in many popular titles and combined them together to create a fantastic world filled with countless secrets and dungeons to explore, numerous enemies to take down and animals to hunt, as well as a handful of bosses that, despite low in number, definitely pose an incredible threat? Well, allow me to introduce you to Soulmask. Today I have been sent here by the developers themselves to try out an early version of the Shifting Sands DLC, which actually releases on the 10th of April for free to people who already own the game or will own it within the next month, and take down all of its bosses. However, since I'm an expert Souls-like player, I believe that this should be easy peasy. So join me on my adventure through the sands to conquer all 4 pyramids as well as the final boss, the Death Sandstorm. Again, this is a sponsored video and any bugs and or issues that I encounter do not represent the final product. But with everything out of the way, it was time to begin this adventure. Right off the bat, I was greeted with a choice between tribe mode, survival mode and warrior mode, and since, well, my goal is to beat every boss in the game, you already know that I picked warrior. Then in typical survival game fashion, I got to creating my character. This guy looks like a monk, yeah, we're gonna go for the monk guy, easy. Beard, whoa, wait, this guy looks like the one guy from anime. Yeah, wait, is it this one? Dude, this guy is it. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go for this guy, dude. Yeah, okay, what do we got here? This, oh, perfect, next. With my Italian boy ready, I got to customizing my mask, because, just as the name implies, this game features masks that can drastically buff you and give you special abilities. I mean, even the starting mask was insane as it allowed for on-demand flight. And since the mask is supposed to be prestigious, I just made it with full gold. After that I went to actually claim my mask, which blessed me with this insane cutscene. And while this cutscene is going on, let me give you some more information about this game. Soulmask is available on Steam and has some very good reviews, and for a good reason, because this game is genuinely fantastic and you will 100% guaranteed get your money's worth off of this game. And regarding the DLC, which is what I'm gonna be playing today, it releases on the 10th of April and will be free to download for the first month after it launches, so until the 10th of May. A DLC that is bigger than the base game. Yeah, you heard that right. But anyways, it's time to get right into the action. Oh wait, I'm beginning. Oh, I get to keep the skin? Yo! Okay, that's cool. So what do? I have some stuff. What do I... Spawning in the game gave me some basic cloth armor, some basic resources and full stone tools. Afterwards, I immediately got to doing something. Yo, harvest proficiency level 2, look how fast I'm collecting. Oh, I'm gonna be the best harvester in the world, man. Hi, dude, okay. Watch this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I can block, okay, that's cool. Kinda tanky for a crab. Okay, got him. And open, oh my god. There are 3 different levels, awareness, strength, master level and character level. Since the game was super complex, the devs made sure to add a handy tutorial that you can access by pressing N, and while exploring the tutorial I found out about deterring, which is basically taming but for people. Whoa. Besides that, I also figured out how to explore more of the map, which is done by going to this icon on the map and doing something there. Okay, do I have a dash? Yeah, we got a roll. This is gonna be freaking easy. Okay, let's see the map. Oh my god, there's so much stuff to actually do here. This is the whole map? Like this? Okay. After taking a look at the map, I found 2 people chilling at the edge of the island, so I went over to say hi. Unfortunately, they were evil people, which meant that I had to fight them. While doing so, the game wanted me to press V, so I did that, which literally enabled me to fly. Do I just fly or do I just... I'm getting destroyed, by the way. Even with flight though, I stood no chance against these people, which is to be expected as I just entered the game. So I ran away and continued learning the controls, such as learning that I have a scan ability and that I can transform between peasant mode and mask mode at will. Anyway, before tackling people again, I resumed killing crabs and learning how to use the tools that the game gave me. You may have also noticed that when I do stuff, I level up some sort of proficiency. Each skill has its unique proficiency tab, and by doing stuff regarding that skill you can level it up, which allows you to do that activity faster and better. And every 30 levels you also get a small bonus that you get to pick from. With the new resources that I got, I decided to craft some thick rope that I then used to make some basic gloves, and while looking around the crafting recipes I found a stone greatsword. I had everything needed for it, but I couldn't craft it. So I double clicked it, which pulled up the whole recipe learning system thing. Next to that, there was also the mask skill tree, which we will go over later. For now, I learned how to craft the stone weapons and immediately crafted that stone greatsword, which was just one of the many weapons that you can use in this game, such as dual blades, spears, normal blades and bows, just to name a few. Then I also made a stone bead necklace for a few bonuses, and as you may have noticed, my greatsword is blue rarity. That's because weapons have a stat range when you craft them, and the higher the damage, in this case, the higher the rarity. With these new upgrades acquired, I felt confident to go back to the people from earlier to show them who's boss. To further improve the combat in this game, the developers added parrying, a super important feature that one must master in order to finish the game, but it's not as hard as it looks. Trust me. Killing bandits also drop dive bags that give pretty useful loot, such as bandages. Next, I wanted to build a boat to escape this island and go to actually progress, so I quickly got the required resources, but while looking for the boat, I had the revelation. Wait, can be used to sever animal... Hold on. Okay, 5. Oh my god, that's how it works! Ooh. After learning what the knife does, I crafted a boat, placed it in water and boarded it to make my way towards the mainland. After arriving, I learned how to actually use the sight, which in turn gave me a lot of XP. While sighting stuff, I found a duck, and after attacking said duck, I noticed it was level 14. Should I even be here? Oh, I shouldn't be here. So after actually going where I was supposed to go, I said hello to the locals, which weren't too happy to see me. Bro, why does everybody want to fight me? Like, what? Oh, what? Dude, why does everybody deal a billion, trillion, million damage? So because this yellow ruin was too hard to do, I figured that maybe this white ruin would be easier. On the way, I killed 2 boars in hopes of getting some beast bones for the next tier of weapons, but to no avail. Beast fuzz. Next up, I crafted some arrows and a bow so that I actually had something to use from a distance. And as night fell, I finally arrived on the other side of the island. Unfortunately, these white ruins also had people defending them, and since people mopped the floor with me, I decided that it would be best to try and get some beast bone weapons before actually attempting this. Thankfully, a local dog was more than happy to help me with that. Because I didn't want to go back to that island anymore, I wanted to build a base in this new spot, so I crafted a bunch of crafting stations, which is also when I learned how crafting works in this game. It's active crafting, which means that you gotta be present for things to craft. Boring. But this is exactly why you can tame people to have them craft stuff for you, which is awesome. Anyways, while reading some stuff, this happened. Nah, dude, he broke my box, dude, are we serious, man? I'm actually just gonna go back to where I was before and just do stuff there, I swear. Dude, leave me alone. Harvesting the dog gave me premium stuff, which was gonna come in handy later, but since I didn't want to deal with that again, I picked up everything and went home to build a base. While exploring the menus, I also found out where I can actually use my skill points. I can pick from either perception, physique, strength, endurance, or agility. Once I was literally dying to have more stamina, I just picked endurance. Afterwards, I threw my whole inventory into some thatch boxes that hopefully won't get destroyed by dogs, and then set out to the right side of the map where I killed some tiny chickens and some other creatures. While doing so, I hit proficiency level 30 on the greatsword, so I had the choice between more damage, less stamina cost, so I just picked damage. Level 30 also allowed me to switch my ability on it, so I immediately did that. Thanks to all the hunting that I did, I also became an edge hunter. Hey yo, pause! But basically, if you hunt a lot of things, you get hunting XP, which levels you up here, from beginner hunter to king of hunting. And basically all this does is just give you some more buffs related to hunting, such as more output. There's also a hunting gallery that you can use to see what they take as bait and also what they drop, which was pretty sick. On the way back to my island, I found a chest guarded by some boars that I killed, and my reward for doing that was a better chestplate and some triangles. The first triangle allows me to recharge my mass power, and the second one can be used to unlock max bonuses. Back at base, I demolished some trees to hit level 12, which unlocked the beast bone items. It's blue, 54. Has 10 more damage. I will take that. Besides the greatsword, I also upgraded my bow and arrows to the appropriate tier. Next, I also wanted to craft the bespawn tools, but for that I needed wooden handles, and for that I needed a craftsman bench, so I did have a few things to prep beforehand. And before everything, I made a bonfire because apparently this is the thing that I gotta put down to mark my territory, and as soon as I did that, this girl came over. What is it? Sure. You're a guy. Level 23, he's higher level than me, what the f. She will definitely come in handy to craft stuff later, but for now my goal was to get the tools. Easy, okay, now we can make the pickaxe. We can make the axe. We can make this. And we can make the scythe. Oh, green axe, hello. Legendary! Besides the tools and gear, I obviously had to make the full armor set as well. With the full beastbone equipment crafted, I felt confident enough to go and conquer that ruin from earlier. Watch me get destroyed, I'm actually gonna cry if I get destroyed. No, that's good damage, that's definitely good damage. And I think it's pretty safe to say that I was gonna destroy these boys. Nice, good job, idiot. Not a one shot. Not far from it though. Opening a wooden chest in these ruins gave me a red rarity wooden shield, which is the highest rarity of items in this game. Kinda cool, although I couldn't use it. While exploring, I also found some small box that contains some sort of lore / paper stuff, and this can be found literally everywhere on the map. But they don't do anything. Regardless, I beat one last guy, which allowed me to freely interact with the mysterious structure that they were protecting. It asked me for a few resources that I had plenty of, and after giving it the things and my mask, it upgraded it, allowing me to deter tribe members and actually build a tribe. This is also where I could switch my masks. The way you obtain masks is either by beating bosses, such as these two, exploring or crafting, but I didn't have any other mask yet, so I just left the dungeon and continued walking. What is... what the... what? After respawning, some guy decided to join my camp, so obviously I let him do so. Next, I wanted to begin uncovering the map, which is done by going to these scouts. There, the task is simple. All I have to do is get the scout to low HP, at which point I can interrogate him to reveal another portion of the map. Doing this unlocked the barbarian barrack and a copper mine, which is the next tier of items that I need, so I immediately went there to greet the locals and farm some copper, boy. With copper acquired, it was time to go back home when this happened. Why am I falling? Bruh. Basically, when you first load in, the game gives you a grace period of about 2 hours in which you can't lose mask energy, which is this symbol here, and since my time had just ran out, I fell out of the sky. No worries though, as the mask energy can easily be refilled by using sunstones that I found in chests earlier. To smelt the copper that I got, I needed a furnace, so I quickly got the required resources for it and actually put it down. This is also when I realized this thing. Tin. What? How do I even get tin? Yep, and since I also needed tin to craft bronze, there was really only one thing that I could do, which was to explore. And snipe a crocodile to get my revenge for earlier. Got him. While out exploring, I made sure to also loot pretty much all chests that I ran into just in case they had stuff like this. Whoa. And besides ancient ruins, I also decided to do some beast dens on the way. Beast dens house an elite creature, which is just a stronger, regular creature. What? It's the boss, the elite boar. Oh. Makes sense why I got one-shotted. I pressed space instead of dodge. Get f***ed, dude. GG, holy. The difference between normal creatures and elites is that elites are obviously way stronger, but because of their increased strength, they also give way better loot than their normal counterparts. Anyways, back to interrogating scouts. There... oh, portal, nice, yeah. Yes, now I lock this. There is no TP around here, which is kinda worrying, but I will go there and see what's there as well. I gotta go there. 100% gotta go there. Why is there TP there and there? But there's no TP in this zone. That's stupid. Well, since we're both curious about what the portal is about, I went over to it. In order to get my green crystals, I tried clearing out local bandit camp, but safe to say that these guys were on another level. Mainly since they were using bronze gear, so that's a cool way to skip progression. Or I mean, it would be if the blade dealt actual damage. Yeah, but like this thing genuinely deals like 1 damage. So I just got destroyed by their tribe leader. On the bright side, after taking a look at my map, I noticed this. Oh, tin. That's where we gotta go. We gotta go out there. So just like last time, I killed the baddies and started mining. Back at base, I immediately used the tin I got to craft tin bars, and since this was gonna take a while, I went AFK and let my character get some juicy furnace XP in the meantime. For bronze gear, I needed this bench, so I crafted that, but apparently that wasn't enough, as it needed a level 1 upgrade. Which was omega expensive. On the bright side, I had sufficient ores for the ingots, but I had to wait about half an hour. Oh well, would you look at that, it seems that I can finally craft a level 1 upgrade to the bench as well as my bronze gear. Since my greatsword came out common rarity, I tried crafting a few more with minimal success. Green. We can do better, we can definitely do a blue one. Green again? Oh, okay. Blue. Whatever, we'll just take this one. In terms of tools, I only had sufficient bronze for a pickaxe, but that should be enough. Then I got to testing out my sword, and considering that I one-shotted this lad, I think it's pretty good. Moving on, I built a small wooden boat because I was planning to move from this abandoned island more to the mainland, with the goal of saving time when going places. But to actually drive the boat, I was gonna need an airship helm. And besides that, I also made a few sails just in case they actually give me some more speed. But I didn't know how to place them. But hey, I'm not a pirate. One tedious thing that I'll have to do is move the loot on the boat. However, the devs of this game, they're smart. They know that this is tedious, so they added the ability to relocate chests, keeping their contents. It did have quite a small radius, but small radius is better than no radius. And after placing all the chests on the boat, the true last thing I had to do was make some chairs, because this game features a crew system, so you can take your tribe members with you, but to actually have them come with you, they need to sit somewhere. Next, I began thinking of where to move my base, and my idea was to build it right next to the portal, because having a portal on standby would be pretty good. After finishing construction of my new establishment, I took my green crystals to power up the portal, which obviously unlocked the ability to teleport between portals, but to teleport I needed to unlock the second portal. On the way, I ran into an elite guy, and similar to elite beasts, this guy is way tougher to kill but drops very good loot. No. Okay. No. Nice damage, nice. Who is this guy, bro? Who is this guy? But eventually, I did beat him. And my reward for beating him was his full armor set, which was way better than what I had, as well as some flammable alcohol, which just applies fire to my weapon. Super useful stuff. After that, I powered up the portal and used it to return home. Awesome, hello boys, I'm back. Back home, my goal was to make a full bronze set, for which I needed a bunch of stuff, so to make my life easier, I went over to tame some workers. And with these new workers, I was able to easily craft the armor forging table, the bronze chainmail, the level 1 upgrade, and the full bronze set. Since I was full bronze, I felt confident enough to go try to take down the first boss, the Sobe Crocodile. Just like a certain other game that I played, the bosses are on 3 difficulties: Fierce, Berserk, and Doom. But since I was level 1 crew, I guess it's obvious which difficulty I was gonna go for. We had a small problem though, and that was the fact that I needed worship containers, which can be obtained here. The way Barbarian Barracks work is... actually, I don't know. All I know is that there's a lot of fighting going on, and the good loot is also getting stashed away if you're too aggressive. But to be completely honest with you, this Barbarian Barrack was very annoying to do solo. Let me move, please. No one's gonna f***ing die here. So because of that, I went to quickly kill the leader, which was this guy that actually drops the worship containers. Immediately after getting what I was after, I left the establishment and went home to prepare for the crocodile. Also fret not, as this isn't the only nor is it the best way to get worship containers, but anyways, time for the Sobe Crocodile. Oh, he's coming. Oh, he's coming. This is where I gotta fight. Yeah, that is who I gotta fight. So then, what does this crocodile have going for it? For starters, he takes reduced damage in the body and regular damage in both head and tail. He also had a plethora of grab attacks and regular attacks that deal a lot of damage. On the very bright side though, he doesn't despawn after a respawn, which means that it's just gonna be a matter of time until he dies. Upon getting him to 50% HP, he started summoning lightning, and I had no idea what I was supposed to do. But as it turns out, I'm supposed to just run behind one of the 4 pillars that he summons, which enables phase 2. Ah, now he made everything like muddy and stuff. Yeah, he beat me. Dude, why is this guy so strong? I mean, he's a boss, okay, that makes sense. Dude, can I please heal, dude? Dude, bandage yourself faster, oh my god, dude. Yeah, nice attack, I'm dead. I'm literally dead. What? Please, man. Half HP. What? What the f, man? What? How? What? Amidst all the fighting, I also noticed this thing. Oh, I can cut off his tail! Oh, that's so cool! Oh, that's so cool! Let me heal up. Now he's gonna do the dash, and I double attack. And now I go back and see if I do the thing. There's no shot. There's no way. There's no way. His favorite attack, dude. Zero telegraph. You know what zero means, bro? Zero. He does it and that's it. And you don't get to react. Okay, that I could have reacted with. Bad, but this. What the f. I pressed, dude. I need a webcam. I need a webcam to show you guys that I pressed. His favorite attack, why does he spam that attack, bro? What the f is going on, man? Nice. What? You. No! He's 1 HP! He's 1 HP! No, you die here. I don't give a shit, dude. You die here. 1 attack and you're down. F you, dude. F you. GG. G. Fucking G, dude. GG. GG. Holy fucking GG. After beating the crocodile, I was able to use my knife to skin him for unique drops and very good loot, such as blue crystals, which can be used to unlock stronger buffs for my character. The loot he dropped also included the key to open up the local pyramid, and inside I found some knowledge that does nothing except give me some lore and tech points. But the main attraction was the holy relic at the end of the pyramid that contained a mask. Oh, hello. Coincidentally, there was also a mask configuration thingy in the middle of the room, which allowed me to unlock another functionality of the mask and also unlock the boss mask itself. The abilities that it had were pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but they couldn't beat flying. Then I also applied one of the bleeding mods that the crocodile gave me onto my weapon, which was awesome. And now, with the local boss down, it was time to continue exploring the map and do some more scouts. Nice, dude, I pressed E, oh my god. Oh wait, location infrared? Ah. Portal, nice, awesome. Since I locked the portal, I went over to activate it as well, and then I noticed that iron existed on the map. Oh, iron. We have iron. Sweet, let's go there again. Let's get some iron. In order to actually smelt iron, the regular furnace didn't cut it, as I instead needed to craft a blast furnace. No, not that one. It needed a lot of resources, but it wasn't that expensive. But after making the blast furnace, I couldn't use it because it only took coal ore for fuel. And since that didn't exist on my map, there was only one solution, which was to explore. Coal? Do we have coal? No coal, there's no way. While wandering around the map, I found a mine and a lone guy that I decided to deter. This is also when I realized that deterring people allows you to take all their loot as opposed to just what the game gives you, which basically allowed me to upgrade everything from this one guy. So obviously he died shortly afterwards. However, his death was not in vain as one of the bandits dropped this. Iron Greatsword. Yo! Thank you, man. Yeah, well that's one nice way to skip progression. However, this is also when I realized that I could just stop trying to craft stuff and instead fully focus on exploring and taking the items from the bandits that I ran into. And speaking of robbing bandits, this guy had a legendary great bow just sitting in his inventory. Upside to great bows, they deal a lot of damage. Ooh, that's big. Downside, they take a long time to shoot and only use big arrows. Anyways, I finally killed the mine leader, which gave me these things. GG, thank god, holy. Oh my god, look at this loot. Surprisingly, literally everything was just a flat upgrade from what I had, which was insane, and besides armor, I also got some coagulant cream, which just acts as an instant heal as opposed to the bandage. Also, remember what I said about worship containers earlier? Yeah, well, they can also be found by randomly killing elites. GG, what do we drop? Ooh. This would have been insane to have earlier. Oh, we got this! Ooh, let's go. But yeah, back to interrogating scouts. Throughout my adventure, I found myself wandering some beautiful South Beach with beautiful water. But besides the sights and stuff, I could also see a ginormous dungeon in the distance as well as a floating island. So my goal became clear: do the dungeon and explore the floating island. This was further emphasized by the fact that the scout was seemingly past the dungeon. Even though I could fly past, I decided not to do that and instead clear out the whole dungeon of baddies and reap the rewards, which were pretty good rewards actually, mainly the mineral oil. Moving on, I beat the outside leader, which again gave me a very good costume that actually looked really awesome for once, so I equipped it and also hid my mask as it was getting kinda tiring to stare at my bald head. The inside of the ruin went exactly as you would expect. Bruh. Dude, this guy is like destroying me. After descending down to the lower level, the game blessed me with a checkpoint. How nice of them. This definitely comes in handy, especially due to the large number of bandits that are down here. And also, the loot down here is okay. It doesn't have anything special except a jade. Since bandits were getting boring, the developers decided to spice up certain dungeons with robots, but since the dungeon was filled with poison, I really wasn't planning to deal with this right now, so I just ran past everyone. Yeah, dude, sniper. Ooh, sniper rifle. Running past only got me so far, as a few rooms later I ran into a giant robot boss that I had to defeat. Well, he wasn't too hard. Defeating him gave me a few red crystals that I can apparently stock into my mask for some permanent buffs. After that boss, I arrived at the second checkpoint, which could only mean one thing and one thing only. The final dungeon boss was up next. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the Destroyer, a boss that isn't too hard to defeat, especially if you keep your grade in check. Is what I would have said if he didn't have a phase 2. What is this attack? What is this attack? Please, dude. Please, dude, this is it. Fuck off. You die, you die, you die, you die. Die, 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 please die. Please die, please die, please die, please die, please die. No! Yes! Yes! He died! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! He died! Get the fuck out! He died! Get out! We got him! Defeating the destroyer gave me better red crystals to put in my mask. There was also a mysterious station, just like before, that allowed me to unlock the ability to convert robots to my side, which was super cool. By using this station, I could also use the red crystals that I acquired to buff myself up. Unfortunately, you could only use one of each type, so you don't actually spam the same gem 10 times and become a war machine, but they were super useful regardless. The last room contained a big chest that had all the goodies. Besides that chest, there was also an anti-gravity engine core to craft your own spaceship, because yeah, you can do that in this game, which is another insanely cool feature. Anyway, time to leave the dungeon and return home to deposit everything. As I was looting an abandoned chest, I got intercepted by these two well-dressed gentlemen. However, something felt off about them as they looked different compared to the other local bandits. Well, that's because they were higher tier bandits, if that makes sense. Okay, basically they had super good gear on them, so I robbed them of their belongings. Then after doing that, I continued wandering around looking for scouts.
And his name is John C.
What, bro, who are you? And who is Radan shooting with whatever he's shooting there? Up in the mountains, I got to fighting another fellow greatsword user, but again, something felt off about his sword, because it was bigger, more refined and more blunt. But I just thought that I was seeing things. Well, that was until I killed him, which is when I realized that he actually had the next type of greatsword, the steel greatsword. With this new greatsword, I felt even more confident than before, which allowed me to get the local scout interrogated as well. Dude, is this actually, why do I even care? Because I got steel and it's for iron like a few hours ago. I probably wasn't going to need coal anymore, but just in case, I made sure to grab a bit. Back at the crib, I dumped my whole inventory into some chests and then started preparing for the second boss, the Anubis Hound. In typical Souls-like fashion, I also made sure to bring a bonfire along with me so that I had an easy way to respawn in case things got dirty. And with everything out of the way, I summoned him in. Now, one thing to be noted about this boss was that he was taking an insane amount of damage thanks to my very strong gear, which allowed me to easily get him into phase 2. Also, since boss is based around time and stuff, he had an attack that launched projectiles, that upon impact created a time stop bubble, and if I entered that bubble, I was kinda guaranteed to die. Yeah, that's attempt 1, not bad. If this is all, there's no way this is it, man. Besides the time stop, the camera for this boss was also kinda hard to deal with, but then again I had no idea what was going on. I do not know what is happening, all I know is that I'm dealing damage to the boss and he is dying. And I'm dead, okay. Ui, I parried him, get f***ed, nerd. Oh, you, I'm parrying so bad. Dude, I'm actually gonna beat him right now, right here, right now. GG, is this it? There's no way. What? Bro, what? Since the boss was omega easy to defeat, I decided to attempt him on the second difficulty later, because for now I had more progression to get through. Ooh. Ooh, nice mask, bro. Now this mask, unlike the crocodile mask, was actually super useful. What? This is so strong! This is so strong! This is so strong! This is so... Do I need to be transformed into the thing for that to work or not? Besides the bandage ability, it also had some sort of lifesteal effect that comes into play when I don't have the bandage active. And besides those two, it also had an ability that siphoned the damage bonuses of enemies, which pretty much saved me later on. But all of these things did come at a price. You see, transforming into the wing guy is free, but using these new masks cost yellow crystals, that can only be obtained by finishing certain dungeons, which is why for now I settled to continuing to use the celestial wings. Plus I had more of the map to uncover, so that's exactly what I got to doing. After uncovering almost the whole map, I wanted to go do an ancient ruins dungeon. Despite this dungeon being small in comparison to others, the loot it had was very good. Firstly, it had talk, which was a resource that I needed to fight the final boss, and secondly, it had that mysterious station inside which I could pick up and take home to configure my masks whenever I wanted. Also, in typical dungeons fashion, there were a few mini-bosses scattered around here and there that were super easy to take out, as well as just a bunch of robots here and there, and at the end of the dungeon, there was a big mini-boss that, well, was still mini. Defeating it allowed me to open his chest, which gave me a bunch of yellow crystals and some energy cores that I will need to make an airship for the final boss. The final treasure room gave me a restrictive module for the crocodile mask, which basically allowed me to unlock its ultimate ability. Back at base, I put down the mysterious structure and used it to apply some more gems on my mask. Then I was back to scout interrogating baby. And while on this final interrogation spree, I found some very interesting things. First of all, I found a very ominous looking area where I could mine obsidian. Obsidian, yo, let's make the nether portal. And besides the obsidian, do you remember the guys that attacked me earlier? And I said that they were super strong? Yeah, well, this is where they originated from, and fate just so has it that this guy had a great sword. Please sword, please, great sword. Bah, blam, great sword. Legendary dude! Well, this is almost the best greatsword that I have access to. There are still ways to get better ones, but those come either from dungeons or crafted with unobtainable materials in this demo, but you will have access to them, so don't worry. Since this area was so goated, I wanted to keep exploring it, but unfortunately... so I can't go here then. Well, the Burning Highlands wasn't accessible, which was quite a shame, since it did have a big pyramid, so maybe another big boss. One chest that I looted in this high level area gave me a red rarity steel great bow. So safe to say that I'm ready for whatever else this game has in store for me. And since I was done with scouts for the time being, I decided to go and use my wings to explore the big island far south of the map. It was very big, and upon arriving I noticed that there weren't any creatures around, which was very suspicious and only got me worried about what I'll find at the top. Maybe a giant boss, maybe an otherworldly portal, maybe it's just a way to transfer between servers. Since I didn't come all this way for nothing, I went to check out the local mark shipwrecks as well, so I went there and started diving. Oh my days. I want this. Go to legend, pick up. Oh, that's how I get the mask. Oh, I got the mask. Oh, how nice. Well, immediately after getting the mask, I died. However, we're both curious to see what this mask can do, so I took it to the table. I never thought to scroll. Like, I only saw this, I never thought to actually scroll. Holy shit, so many masks, what? So then, this mask had the following: stacking damage reduction up to 30% and 10% permanent movement speed. Pretty sick for a mask that's actually so easy to obtain. Anyway, leaving the mask stuff aside for now, I set my sights on doing an ancient dungeon. So without wasting a second, that's exactly where I went. The outside was super easy to clear of bandits, and the leader on the inside was equally as easy. But the main attraction of this place was the portal. The portal asked me for a few resources, and upon presenting him with said resources, it opened and teleported me to the actual dungeon. Inside, I had to deal with a bunch of robots and a bunch of traps. Wow! The main goal here was to find these keys scattered around the dungeon, as well as take down the first mini-boss for his special key. Oh yeah, and don't forget to loot the chests. The chests in these ancient dungeons are way better than usual since they can give equipment that have set bonuses, which are super useful. Now with the keys, you are supposed to go to a certain door and use the key to open the door. This dungeon, however, was bugged and didn't contain such doors, and trust me, because I have looked around at least 5 times in each room. So since I couldn't find the key sockets, I tried leaving the dungeon, at which point the game took the keys from my inventory. I took my keys. What? Yeah, I have no clue. On the bright side, I hit level 50, which allowed me to unlock some more stuff, but most importantly, a new scout appeared on the map. Wait, now I can go there. That wasn't there before. Let's go to that real quick. What is that? Land of Death. Guardian Death Sandstorm. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the Death Sandstorm, the true final boss of Soulmask's DLC. Since I thought that I was the shit, I tried immediately attacking the boss, to which he reacted by doing nothing. My attacks were so weak that this boss couldn't even be bothered to wake up, but despite that I kept hitting him, and when he woke up, this happened. Yep, exactly. Now he woke up and now I'm dead. There also wasn't a respawn close by, and... oh, wait, play that back? This boss is level 80? Yeah, well, probably accidentally, this boss wasn't scaled down to the demo's level cap of 60, which means that fighting it is gonna be very hard, but not impossible. Since I was planning to swap my mask soon, I wanted to do one last bit of flying around, which involved me going towards this giant upside down pyramid, which is actually the place where I started the game. Kinda cool that it's here and that it can actually be seen. And because I couldn't go there, I just went to an actual explorable floating island that had Nothing, except these lizards. Quite a shame that this place was empty, however in the full version they will 100% add something here. I got confirmation. Next up, I wanted to go do the second Holy Ruin since the first one was super entertaining, but before setting out to such a journey, I swapped my mask, boy. Ooh. Oh, Optimus Prime, bro, this is so sick. Oh, okay. Whoa. Nice. Yeah, let's go. The way to the Holy Ruins was long and filled with danger, but despite all of that, I prevailed. Oh yeah, and fun fact, on the way I ran into these guys. Who is this guy? Dude, this guy looks so cool, I'm gonna fight him. Marmot. Yo, we got a Marmot. After killing that Marmot, I arrived inside the Holy Ruins. First thing I did was unlock the checkpoint, because I did not want to have to come back here on foot. Afterwards I got opening the local chest that gave mysterious magnets, another very useful resource later on, and after that I got to killing some locals. Holy, they give so much XP! Oh my god, I get like 9k XP for killing a guy. Yeah, well, I got an item early on, called the Wheat Porridge, that just made me get double XP. Which was huge, as you just saw. Further up into the first chamber, I had to defeat a Slayer, a mini-boss that I've beaten a few times and that was actually pretty easy to beat. And like tomorrow and he should be out, maybe this one? Easy. Further up ahead, I ran into more robots and a guard. Now this guard thingy here is an insanely strong robot that, while stationary, can dish out more damage than the boss I fought just a few seconds ago. Who is this thing? Whoa, wait. John Wick, calm down, John Wick. Due to his inability to move though, he was very easy to kill with just a few arrows. After jumping around for a bit and killing some big robots, I arrived at the boss of big robots. He mopped the floor with me. Since all he did was destroy me, I decided to abandon him and instead continue wandering through the dungeon, which is when I ran into the third mini-boss, which was a triangle guy. This one also can't move, but things that can't move usually deal a shit ton of damage in this game. And I would have struggled a lot with this guy if I didn't have a big brain to have him sit on an elevated platform while I used crouch to chip away at his health. GG, thank god, holy. Defeating him allowed me to keep going down, deeper into the ruins. Over at the bottom floor I found probably the most dangerous room in this whole game. So because I wasn't trying to catch these hands, I ran to the door when the game delivered an ultimatum. Thankfully finding those two mechanisms wasn't hard at all, it just took a bit of running around. After making it past the boss, I encountered the fourth boss, another triangle, but this one could shoot lightning. What? You didn't even do the thing on the ground? Yeah, no thanks. And so, after walking through the last corridor, I arrived at the final boss of these holy ruins. The Huntsman. You see, I may have been slick escaping those two mini-bosses earlier, but I was not going to escape this one. And let me just tell you right now that the Huntsman is by far one of the, if not the hardest boss in this game, in my most honest opinion. Oh yeah, and he also has the Sister's moveset from Dark Souls, which was pretty cool. Upon getting him to 75% HP, he entered phase 2, which changes his fist to claws, makes him faster and obviously makes him deal more damage. Besides all his strong attacks, he can also turn invisible. What? And if he catches you while he's invisible, you're toast. Now looking at this you might say, bro, what? The Huntsman is so easy, you're just bad. Yeah? Well, at 50% HP, he enters phase 3, which gives him even more speed and even more damage. I don't think I can even beat this guy. There's no way, dude, look at... No, I'm not beating him. GG, I'm going home. I'll come back here and I'll beat everybody. No, I'm done. I'm done. Usually, I wouldn't give up this easy, but considering that it takes me about 3 to 4 minutes to get him to half HP, I decided to focus on other things such as improving my strength before going back in. And the way I was planning to increase my strength was by crafting enhanced gear, which was the last tier of gear. However, to craft it I needed an ancient enhanced table, for which I needed mysterious crystals that can't be obtained in the demo. So since enhanced gear was off limits, I decided that the best thing to do would be to continue beating bosses, the next boss being the Onyx Scarab. To spawn it, I needed feces, something that I didn't have nor did I know how to get, but my first plan was to make some traps and go trap some hippos, as in my mind those are quite poopy. So then, how does trapping work in this game? For starters, you need to find the baby and then you gotta kill its parents. Quite gruesome, I know, but on the bright side, you become its new parent. Then you lay down your hunting trap and then you gotta use some bait. To see what bait you need, you must press K and then go to your hunting gallery. Then you put the bait in the trap and wait. Easy. After the hippo gets sucked in by the magic of the trap, you press E on him to capture him. Then you can either take him home in your arms or you can put him down to have him follow you. Since I wanted to see if I could breed hippos, I made sure to take another one as well, and then it was time to take them both home. Well, yeah, okay. But before heading out to such a long journey, I tried to see if using a portal would work, and surprisingly, it actually worked. Good job, devs, that's some super good stuff right here. Back at the crib, I added them both into the hippo pen, and all there was left for me to do was wait for them to make me feces. In the meantime, I upgraded my base a little bit, and found out that you can actually take off crystals from a mass by simply double clicking them. Oh, and I also found out how I get more blue crystals, which is by killing bosses. I needed a bunch of blue crystals to unlock certain functionalities of my mass, such as the bandage buff that I kept talking about, and in order to get my blue crystals, I settled for refighting the Sobe crocodile on the second difficulty. Due to my absolute strength and gear, beating this boss should be easy peasy. His favorite attack is back, bro. And I didn't manage to heal. No, dude, I didn't manage to heal. His favorite attack, bro. Dude, he's actually gonna kill me, cause... Dude, look at his health. Yeah, I'm legitimately gonna die again. Never mind. What? I couldn't move. Dude, I'm actually getting owned by this guy again. Are we serious, bro? I pressed Alt, but I didn't roll. Nice, good job, dude. I do not like his favorite attack. I'm getting owned by this guy! What the f***? GG, oh my god, dude. Since last time I fought him, I also reached a way higher hunting level, which allowed me to take his head. Yeah, I can take his head. Oh, we got his head, nice. Beating him on the second difficulty awarded me with 15 blue crystals. Should suffice to buy out everything here. I gotta fight him again. Cause I need... Beating any boss on difficulty 2 or higher allows you to upgrade your armor to a unique armor set. In this case, Sobek allowed me to upgrade iron armor to Sobek armor. Super cool, but sadly pretty outdated. Anyway, I beat the croc again for more blue crystals, which allowed me to get the last passive on my newbie's mask. I couldn't unlock the ultimate yet because I didn't have the restrictive module. Since I still didn't know how to get poop, I decided to go into the other ancient dungeon that was on the map. Inside, I demolished the leader, which gave me a red rarity mechanical steel spear, so I decided to take it. The dungeon also unfortunately couldn't be opened as I needed a dungeon key that I had no idea how to get. Yet. A local chest also gave me a few damage mods, which I quickly applied on my weapons. It was also at this time when I found out how to get feces. And animals don't have anything to do with it. I'm supposed to make an outhouse, which tribe members will frequently use to produce the thing. We got 2. We need more. So after getting everything ready for the boss, I went over to his suspiciously big arena to call him in and defeat him. Right off the bat, he didn't have a cutscene like the other bosses, he just popped up, which was kinda underwhelming. Oh wow, he's so easy, what? Dude, why was this crocodile so hard and this guy's so easy? I don't know what he's doing. Ah, hi. Can I kill these guys? Do I just have to... They hurt, right? Oh no, they don't. What do I do? Ah, they do hurt. Oh no, he can fly. And he does like... Oh! Ooh, this looks so cool. Yo, this looks so cool. Well, I had no idea what dark magic this boss was attempting to cast, but I wasn't looking to risk it, so I quickly got to finishing the fight. He's doing something, I don't understand what he's doing. Yeah, I think I just kill him quick, or I die. GG. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but he's dead. As always, defeating him gave me another mask. This one was super good again. It could infuse my weapons with flammable alcohol, which was the thing I kept using here and there. It provided increased fire and cold resistance, 5 HP regen during the day, 10% damage during the day, and 10% damage reduction during night, and 10% crit sword damage. Quite an insanely good mask, but I was fine with Anubis for now. Since the third boss was so easy to beat, I immediately went over to the fourth and last pyramid boss. This is also when I realized how strong the spear actually is. Dude, the spear is so good. I've been missing out, man. After beating the local leader, I was free to make my way up some stairs that led to the myth, the man, the legend, the Sand Bandit King of Wilderness. Before even attempting him, I decided to clear out the rafters of all archers, as the last thing I need is this thing hitting me during the boss fight. And after clearing everyone out, it was damn time to beat this bitch. For starters, he was just a basic leader type mob with a lot of health and special weapons that could apply Dread, which is a debuff that caps my damage. Why would he need a debuff that caps my damage, I hear you ask? Because below 50% HP he can trigger healing mechanic to get right back up to 50%. Wait, what? Why is he healing? Looking at it from this perspective, it does make sense as to why he works the way he works, but at the time I just thought he was bugged, because I kept hitting him to 50% constantly and nothing would change. Dude, why is he healing so much? How'd I kill him? He's back to half. What? So because of that, I tried loading the game, which did respawn everyone, but I was not going to refight everyone. What I was gonna do though is get into 50% again, which of course didn't work. Please don't heal, man, just die, accept defeat. I think he's he's literally healing. I do not know how to kill this guy. Fortunately, getting to fight an invisible mannequin does teach you a thing or two, as for this experience I got way better at parrying. But yeah, he refused to die, I thought he bugged, so I left. Fret not though, as this is not the last time that I meet this guy. For now I had some unfinished business with some robots in a certain faraway dungeon to settle. Since I had an almost fully upgraded mask, a spear, and also learned how to play a little bit better, I felt way more confident re-attempting the Huntsman. Also I have a theory, but I don't know if it's correct. Remember that little buff that increased my damage on the Anubis mask? Yeah, well usually I deal 815 damage in this boss, but when and if that effect kicks in, I deal 1224, which is like 50% more. So that's actually incredible damage, and I'm not sure if it's from the mask or not, but it helped me a lot during this boss fight. Since I was way better at the game, phase 2 became a breeze now, but the thing that I had to be careful of now was phase 3. One thing to note about this guy is that he deals an insane amount of posture damage, which is this yellow bar right here. Please? Thank you. No! Dude! You... Thankfully I do have one get out of jail free card, but if I don't have that for phase 3 and I go down, I'm dead. Another reason for me to consider this guy as the hardest boss in the game is that you can do literally everything perfectly, but if he hits you once in phase 3 with an unlucky attack, whoa, okay, you're just dead. Behind our little cock corner, no, holy, I'm dead. No, I'm not, no, I'm dead. Because I can't stand up in enough time, oh my god. Phase 2 soon. Okay, never mind, I'm just gonna die here. Dude, he deals so much posture damage, it's actually insane. Next attack is... okay, my palms are getting sweaty, be for real. No, what is that crap attack? Oh, yeah, if I lose posture and I can't stand up in phase 2, in phase 3, it's over for me, dude. It's genuinely over for me. You know, I'm just gonna risk it. No! No, dude. He doesn't let me get up, and he does this. Now I bandage. Easy, easy, easy. No. No. No, I'm dead. No, I'm actually dead. No! Why does that do so much damage? It deals 1600 damage, bro. What the f? No, 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 no. We have to be very careful now, because I lost my get out of jail free card. Yeah, GG. One shot for that and I'm dead. No, I leave! I leave! Dude. No, dude, look how fast that attack key. What? I lived! Pop one of these. And we go. I'm fucking trembling, I'm fucking sweating, I'm fucking... Brother. Great it! First team! Dude, one more hold click and he's dead. Just don't f it up here, man, please, dude. Please, one more. Fuck it, dude. Just great it. GG, dude! Dude, we beat the boss, man. Dude, we beat the boss, man. Oh my fucking god, dude. Bang, man. That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's what I'm talking about, man. This boss's chest gave me medium power crystals, which will, again, come in handy relatively soon. In the treasure room, I found a mysterious converter that can, well, convert things. As far as I know, it can't create mysterious things, it just converts something into something else. After tryharding my ass beating the huntsman, I decided to take the edge off and relax for a bit by doing some exploring, such as unlocking the last part of the map, doing a dungeon, killing some guards, pushing some pillars, seeing a giant abomination in the sky, and arriving at a suspicious pyramid. Hello, how do I enter this? I can't. Maybe in the full version I will be able to. I mean, this is the biggest pyramid on the map, so I figure I'll... Yeah, maybe after. In order to explore the giant flying warship, I swapped my mask and set out to the skies. We had a small problem though. The ships were protected by an impenetrable force field that my attacks had no power upon. And if there wasn't enough, these guys also heavily disliked anything flying into their airspace. Since that didn't work and I was kinda stuck in terms of progression, I decided to go and give the Anubis Hound some more screen time by fighting him on the second difficulty. Now this may or may not have actually been a big mistake. Throughout all of my failed attempts, I always realized that the intended way to beat him in phase 2 was through pairing, so it was only a matter of time until I got good. So, after countless deaths, you could actually say that I got good. You die here. Enough is enough, dude. Fuck you. You, dude. You. Get the f out, dude. After staying the Nubis Hound, I got word that the dungeon key that I needed for the ancient dungeon earlier can be found in local barracks. In the actual barracks I had to kill a leader, easy stuff, then I had to kill a big robot, easier stuff, but at the end of the dungeon I actually found the thing that I was looking for. So without wasting a second, I made my way back to the ancient dungeon to enter it. Same story as before, kill robots, find key, kill big robot, get big key, take small break to look at good boss loot, get more keys, and use keys to navigate maze. This is obviously heavy simplifying it, these dungeons are actually pretty fire to explore. The final boss of this dungeon was the Terminator, a giant robot that had the ability to use all the weapons in this game. Very easy stuff. At half HP his hands do detach and become killable, but unfortunately my attacks bounce off just like they do with the guard, so because of that I did the logical thing, which was to fully focus my attacks on the main guy and deal with the hands later. Boss is almost down, easy they disappear at the same time. Oh, that's cool. Okay, what do we get? We got some stuff here, some stuff, boom boom, a lot of life factors, which is very nice. Opening the big chest in the treasure room gave me an insane special hammer, as well as a bunch of good loot and a crazy chest piece, and opening the, and I quote, ancient hero's coffin gave me a mask and some more good loot. Pretty dank fire loot for such an easy dungeon, not gonna lie. Also the hammer was super good, but not my cup of tea. Also, it was at this time that I got information on how I'm supposed to beat the Desert Sandstorm. So allegedly, I'm supposed to enable this infinite build mode, which you will have access to when the game fully launches, and by using it, I'm supposed to build a spaceship to take down the Sandstorm. This is also where those energy cores from earlier came into play, as they are the only thing that the spaceship takes to actually power up. In order to shoot the cannons, I required cannon shells, and those are crafted with talc, but since in the moment I didn't remember where talc was found, I looted some random dungeon in which I found bloodstone. And after completing the dungeon, I also got a restrictive module for my mask, which was fantastic. And by using everything, I was able to fully unlock my ultimate, as well as some permanent bonuses such as more HP and defense. Back at base, I got to crafting some cannonballs, and while they were crafting, I converted 3 extra strong tribemen to have them man the cannons. Last thing I did was make a few chairs, as just like the boat, they need that too. And with everything prepared, it was time to make my way to the sandworm. Once arrived, I woke him up, but encountered a problem. My guys didn't want to man the cannons, and if I took away their chairs, they would just sit on the ground. So I took matters into my own hands and got to conquering this beast myself. For phase 1, all I had to do was shoot the red crystals. Super easy stuff. After shooting most of them, he goes underground, and after a brief moment he resurfaces, entering phase 2, which is when he unlocks this ability. Sure. Nah, but basically he keeps belly flopping everywhere, which is the perfect opportunity to strike. Also, I tested my great bow, and by using steel arrows I was able to deal a buttload of damage compared to the cannons, so I continued shooting him until this happened. Bro, what is going on, man? Is he growing wings? He's actually growing wings. Okay. Sadly, it was also at this time when I ran out of arrows, so foolishly I tried returning home to craft some more, but when I returned... No f***ing way! So I just loaded my game and went to beat the final pyramid boss instead, because I also got word that he can be beaten, you just have to not get hit with dread and be super aggressive. Also, I suppose you're curious, this is what my ultimate does. It instantly kills a low HP enemy and turns it into my ally for a period of time. Pretty useful, but kinda outdated at this point. But yeah, Sand Bandit time. This time not only was I way more aggressive, but I was also way better in the game than last time thanks to all the pairing that I've been doing. And I was also using flammable alcohol, which doesn't really give a fuck about his red ability. It deals 200 damage per second and doesn't cut any corners. GG dude, GG dude, no I have dread, no dude. That's my bad, man. Maybe. This is it, GG, yes dude. Ay ay ay, ay 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 ay, we got him, okay. Unlocking his chest gave me large energy cores, which is a thing that I've actually been looking for. Just like all pyramid bosses before him, he also had something for me. But, back to those large energy cores. Basically, they are split into 3 tiers: small, medium, and large. Small is for small ships, medium is for falcon ships, and large is for shark-class ships. Now, the difference between a falcon ship and a shark ship is that the shark ship has a f***ing rail cannon. We did have one small issue. I assume that the rail cannon shoots guardian energy shells, but for those I need mysterious crystals, which again don't exist in the demo, which is such a bummer. So since I couldn't use the shark-class airship to take down the sandworm, I took matters into my own hands and used literally all the resources that I had to craft big arrows to take him down. Then I made my way to him and used the big ship to arrive on the small ship, after which I wasted no time and got to bowing him down. Last arrow. 3, 2, 1, bang! Okay, one more. And bang! GG. Right off the bat, the game didn't allow me to harvest the sandworm, which was kind of scary, but after persisting for a bit, I was allowed to add it to my collection. Also, fun fact, he weighs a casual 500,000 tons. And then I was allowed to skin him for things I could have gotten by killing a lion and a vulture. But yeah, that was super fun actually. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Soulmask was definitely a super fun experience and I would highly recommend you go check it out. And for the value you get for your money, this is genuinely a no-brainer. I spent about 42 hours completing this challenge and there are still countless mechanics that I haven't even gotten to experience, not to mention a completely separate world that is the base game that has its own bosses, dungeons and enemies just waiting for me to pour another 40 hours into. Again, make sure to grab Soulmask until April 10th to receive the DLC for free, and with everything being said, thank you for watching.